intervention like this will not help our party. I know there are many people who want to create wages within the party, among actors, I don't know for whatever reason. But like the proverbial saying, you better leave when you reach the big bridge, then you can cross it.
Will there be primaries for the PDP?
Of course, it's constitutional. There must be primaries and convention, you mean, yes. Well, there's a constitutional provision for the party to have primaries and national convention to produce a candidate or candidate for the various offices.
Now, as someone who is expected to be very close to Mr. President, as the political advisor to Mr. President, as a matter of fact, could you tell Nigerians the heartbeat concerning Mr. President's vision for Nigerians?
Well, I have a feeling that, and I believe you know it, from people who have commented about him personally, who have reason to interact with him, that I will tell you that he is humble, he is amiable, he's open-minded, and that when the president makes a statement like he wants to transform a country, he didn't say he's going to change the country. He said he wants to transform. He didn't say he wants to transmute. He wants to transform, meaning that there is a form in which our society has been running for years. We have made some progress. But the way we are moving, if you continue, you will not be able to move fast enough to catch up with the rest of the world. So certain things have to be done in a more dramatic way. That's why you have to transform in the way you do a few things. But sir, let me tell you, changing of environment is always very difficult. Changing value system, changing attitude is always very difficult. And our people, as much as we want change, we also have this tendency for resisting change. Even if that change benefits us, it's a tendency actually, it's a human nature. Even if we are likely to benefit from change, there's tendency for resistance. So, if somebody says is going to transform, institutions which have suffered decay for many years for whatever reason, then it means it will take some time. But it is this commitment to make the difference that is important.
Right now, we'll be doing some political analysis on what could be responsible for the political party's cold feet in presenting a party candidate for the 2015 presidential race. Now, Channels TV had a close-up with Nigeria's former Attorney General of the Federation, Chief Richard Akinjide. Chief Richard Akinjide was a member of the Judicial Subcommittee of the Constitutional Draft in 1975 to 1977. Now, take a listen to him.
You have presidential system of government. You have something not so far away from the United States of America. And in Britain, you have the parliamentary system of government. Everybody has got its own system. The law is there, the timetable is there. And I'm sure they will do the thing at the right time. I'm not worried at all. Earlier on in my career, I was involved in the parliamentary system of government, where we had the Prime Minister. At that time, it was Balewa. And then the military came in. They took over. They were there for a long time. After the military, then we had the presidential system of government. And everything on the whole have worked, in my view, fairly well, although they could be better.
Isn't it rather unusual?
It's not unusual. It all depends upon what you want. Some people have it 3 months before the election. Some people have it 8 weeks before the election. Some people have it 6 months before the election. It should be subjective. It should not be objective. It all depends.
Are there possible factors responsible for this reluctance of the major political parties in fielding their candidates?
Not that I know of. We have a very good National Assembly. We have a good president. And I'm sure they are very patriotic and they know what they are doing. And at the right time, they will make the announcement.
Now let's look at the Electoral Act. Are you satisfied with the Electoral Act as an effective working document to serve as an umpire come 2015 elections?
Well, you've made a point. You have the Electoral Act, and there's nothing they are doing that is against the Electoral Act as far as I know. And if there's need to amend it, they will amend it, and they have not.
Now let's do some quick political calculations on the jigsaw to Roadmap 2015 now. The facts we have shows that the PDP may be coming up with a southern candidate while the APC are likely to field a northern candidate. How is it likely to play out come 2015 polls?
I don't buy this idea of southern candidate or northern candidate. When you are doing presidential election, the whole country is going to vote. So you must talk of Nigerian candidate. Whether it is a PDP or the other political party, they will present a Nigerian candidate for whom all Nigerians will have to vote.
In the last general elections, we recorded a lot of ex-party motions and counter-injunctions. Is this good for Nigeria's democracy?
I don't buy this idea of going to court on electoral matters. After the election petition, yes. But before the election, I don't think people should be rushing to court at all. It's not a matter for judges. It's a matter for the voters to decide.
Now, the timetable has been released February 2015. How realistic is this timetable for our general elections?
It is a plausible one. Things are going to come out very well. I have no doubt about that. The election is going to be peaceful, it's going to be orderly, and I have no doubt that the better candidate will win.
In spite of the security situations?
I don't think that will affect the election. I have reasons to believe it will affect the election. The federal government is extremely solid and careful, and so also are the various local governments and the state governments. I don't think we should overplay that area of the election at all.
What should be the focus of Nigerians now? How would you advise Nigerians to conduct themselves towards the 2015 polls?
One, we should have leaders who are educated. I don't accept leaders who are not educated. Two, I believe in leaders who are patriotic. The economy is very, very critical. Nigeria is now the biggest economy in the whole of Africa.
But what would you talk about the crisis of democracy?
I have not seen any crisis at all. I see what I see as democratic norms. You see, you cannot have democracy without noise making. Noise making is part of democracy. So nobody should be worried about that. The most important thing is that on the day of election, everybody should go and vote. No fighting, no quarreling.
Now let's look at the recent impeachment threats in some states in Nigeria. How would you react to this?
Yes, it's in the Constitution. It's in the law. It's not something just taken out of the blues at all. If there is need to impeach, impeach. If there is no need not to impeach, don't impeach. So that doesn't worry me.
Are you saying it's not politically motivated?
I have no reason to believe it's political. If it's political, it did not succeed. If it's not politically, it will succeed.
But this is not without some political consequences.
Well, you cannot do election without impeachment. Why do you have in the Constitution? Why do you have in our laws? Why do you involve the courts? Why do you involve the Speaker? Why do you involve the legislature? It's part of the democratic system. And it should not worry anybody. It doesn't worry me.
How would you react to the recent attempted attack on General Buhari?
One, the attempted attack on General Buhari was very, very sad. I'm happy it didn't happen at all. And I hope such a thing will never happen.
Now, you've heard from the horse's mouth, and what do you think of the party's inability to present a presidential candidate in less than 6 months to the general elections? You can always send your comments to the different social media platforms on your screen. Welcome back, and here's our political roundup for the week.
The impeachment process against embattled governor of Nasarawa State, Tanko Almakura, suffers setback as the State House of Assembly rejects a 7-member panel already probing allegations against the governor by the lawmakers. The electionary campaigns ahead of the governorship election in Osun State gathered steam as the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party engage in war of words over attempt to manipulate the electoral process in their favor. A non-governmental organization, Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, TAN, calls for the renewal of President Goodluck Jonathan's mandate for second term.
Well, and that's as much as we can take in this edition of Roadmap 2015 on Channels Television. Now let's keep the conversation going by sending your comments on our different social media platforms on your screen. Many thanks for being a part of the program, and join us next week for another exciting edition of Roadmap 2015 on Channels Television. I'm Binga Ashiru. Goodbye.